So I think living in a very uncertain world, which is what we're living in, requires huge amounts of kindness to ourselves and patience with ourselves and patience with the universe and patience with everything, really. And it also requires a really deep connection to the divine that resides inside us anyway, and to trust. Because in this ever-changing world, change is the only thing that we know is definite. It changes. Every breath we take is different. Every moment is different. The wind blows, and if I just sort of sit here and I watch the wind blow or feel the wind blow, the hairs on my head move and change in shape and form, and well, it's not curly, but change in just change in their position, and everything's changing all the time. So how do we live uncertainly? How do we live without knowing what tomorrow is going to bring, what even later today might bring? How do we live with ourselves in that level of uncertainty? And I think as I said, I think it requires a lot of kindness. And I spend a lot of time with my hand on my heart and just really reassuring myself and connecting back with myself that actually everything is exactly as it's meant to be. And I have a choice as to how I respond to that. So I can respond with fear, and I can respond with love. And I can respond from my wounded parts of me, of which there are many, and I can respond from the more healed parts of me, which is really where I sit and reside with God, or the divine, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call that beautiful energy, divine energy that resides in all of us, that it's bigger than all of us. And if we really trust that divine God, head, divine source energy, universal energy, has our back, really has our back. And more than that, has a plan. It's almost like things are really mapped out for you, and you can look back, or I can look back and go, now I understand why all these things happen. And at the time when we're in a messy time, we don't really understand why things are happening the way they're happening. But later on we can look back and go, you can see how all these little things fell into place around it. You go, now I understand that that needed to happen in order to heal this, or that needed to happen in order for me to meet blah, 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 or whatever it is. And there's always an opportunity here to really drop into trust, but we have to do it. We have to be kind to ourselves to drop into trust, and we have to be really gentle with ourselves, and at the same time fierce, because we can also very easily drop back into our self-sabotage thoughts. I don't know. I need to control, I need to plan, I need this, I need that. And actually, if we just relax and drop into and trust, then life can flow. And also our vibrational energy is different. So what we welcome is different. How we feel is different. What comes to us is different because we're on a different frequency. So my invitation to you is to drop into trust, to drop into a quieter place, to drop into that space where we can just be, that place of being, where we hear the whispers of the spirit, we hear the whispers of the call. And sometimes we don't hear anything, and sometimes I really want to know what's going to happen, and I don't get an answer, and I can get really frustrated by that. So it takes patience, and it takes trust, and it takes knowing that actually maybe now is not the time when I need to know this information, even though I want to. And maybe now isn't the time for this, that, and the other to happen, even though I want it to. And maybe it's just time for me to trust. And let go and surrender and breathe and rest into your own heart, rest into that beautiful space inside yourselves. That's the invitation for all of us all the time, is just to rest into that place. So what happens to you when you start to unwind the programming that says things should be certain ways, that says that life has to be how it has to be, and we just drop into a different way of being, a different place in our own hearts, a different place inside ourselves? See what happens. Let me know.